Good morning, beautiful souls, and welcome along to lesson 324. I merely follow, for I would not lead. We'll take a moment and we'll gently close our eyes down. And of course, as we enter into our prayer today, we'll recognize that it ties in beautifully with this lesson. But let's first just softly lower our gaze. And we look into our hearts, drawing our senses inwards. Becoming conscious of the presence of your heart. And becoming conscious of what your heart knows. What your heart desires. And the perfect meeting place of the heart between the spiritual and physical realms, our physical body and our spiritual body. This grand communion or meeting that happens in the heart. In this place that on this course and on this day we choose to live from. So we begin this day in gratitude. We open our hearts and we surrender to love. I ask love to lead the way. We ask love to lead the way. And as this lesson says, we merely follow. We welcome joy, we welcome fun, and we welcome abundant prosperity. We recognize that every encounter is a holy encounter, and that all experiences can be met with a peaceful heart that is anchored in the truth, that we are one, that we are love, and that we are free. We release these words and we let it be. I was out and about earlier this morning and I had a holy encounter, and it was an encounter that to the ego seemed a little bit challenging and a bit difficult. And I think if I were to stop and look for the perfect words to express to the person that I met, my ego would have had great difficulty in finding them. However, to be able to be in the practice of giving your voice over to the Holy Spirit and asking the Holy Spirit, what would you have me say, is a very different experience. And so grace, gave me the words in that situation, that particular situation, that were perfect. And that's what you begin to find happening more and more, that grace enters the space because you're open. You have opened to this new way of being and you're open to being led. I merely follow, for I would not lead. My source, you are the one who gave the plan for my salvation to me. You have set the way I am to go, the role to take, and every step in my appointed path. I cannot lose the way. I can only choose to wander off a while and then return. And that's so beautiful. We're never, ever truly lost. Was lost and I was found, was blind and now I see. And that's where grace came in amazing grace. But you're never completely, totally and utterly lost. Like God or love is as close as your breath. But we wander off and we go down rabbit holes and we forget. And that's part of our journey here, is the forgetting. And then the other part of our journey here is the remembering and the returning to love. Your loving voice will always call me back and guide my feet aright. All others can follow in the way I lead them, yet I merely follow in the way to you and as you direct me and would have me go. And of course, again, we have to open up to taking that direction. We have to be willing to take that direction. We make that choice to listen for the voice for love as it speaks. And of course, we have to train ourselves to do that, because it doesn't speak first and loudest like the voice for the ego. It comes in quietly, because that is the nature of love. It comes in quietly and gently and makes suggestions. However, those suggestions can sometimes to use love in a stronger and more forceful way, so to speak, which is kind of a segue onto another story where a friend of mine was upset about something in the school system and is wondering, is it hers to do, And so it's going to mean upsetting some apple carts. And at the same time, if love moves her in that direction, then that's what she's to do with love. And so it may seem less quiet or less soft to work with love in that way. But, love invites us in all sorts of different ways to express herself through us. And so let us follow one who knows the way. We need not tarry, and we cannot stray, except an instant from its loving hand. We walk together following God's child. It is this child who makes the ending sure and guarantees a safe return to home. And another way you could look at it is like following your heart, tuning into your heart, because we are here in human form, and the whole idea is to awaken in human form to the love that we are. And the heart, as I was saying earlier in the meditation, it's that perfect meeting place between the lower triangle. So the lower triangle is like this, and that's of our lower chakras or energy centers. And they're not lower in value, they're just lower down in the body, but they're all associated with the physical body. So we have the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus, and they're all about being here and feeling safe here and feeling grounded here and secure. And then the upper chakras, which are the throat and the third eye and the crown, and they're turned up this way. And the two triangles meet at the heart. And so that's why we talk about communion in the heart. So the upper ones are the spiritual ones, the lower ones are the physical ones, and they meet in the heart. And that's where we want to awaken, in this heart-centered space, so that we can have the experience of being fully human and fully spirit and a full expression of love. So take this into meditation. I merely follow, for I would not lead. And there's such relief in that as well. We don't have to figure all this out. We just have to listen on a moment-to-moment basis as to how love would guide us. So just take a load off, allow yourself to relax, settle into meditation. I merely follow, for I would not lead.